Ladies and gentlemen, today I bring you a message of divine restoration, a message that speaks to the very depths of your soul. For those who have felt the weight of wasted years, I assure you time is not lost. The great law of life is that what was taken shall be restored, and what was lost shall be found. The Creator does not measure your future by your past mistakes. What seems wasted in the eyes of the world is but a seed planted in the garden of eternity, and now that seed is about to bear fruit. How do you know that God is about to restore your wasted years? Here are 7 signs to watch for. Everything begins within. Long before you see change in the outer world, there is a transformation happening in the silent, unseen realm of your thoughts. You may not realize it at first, but the way you speak to yourself in your mind is shaping your reality. If your inner conversations have been filled with regret, fear, or self-condemnation, then your life has reflected those very thoughts. However, when God is about to restore your wasted years, one of the first signs is a change in your internal dialogue. You start noticing that the words you speak within yourself are no longer rooted in despair, but in hope. Instead of reliving past failures, you begin to envision a new future. Where there was once a habit of thinking, "I have lost too much time," you now find yourself thinking, "My best days are still ahead." This shift is not accidental. It is the spirit within awakening you to the truth that nothing has been wasted. The old script of regret and missed opportunities starts fading, replaced by a new script of faith, expectation, and divine timing. You begin to realize that what you dwell upon in your mind creates the circumstances of your life. With this shift, you become more conscious of the words you allow to take root in your mind. You recognize that every inner conversation is either watering the seeds of restoration or reinforcing the illusion of loss. As you deliberately choose to dwell on thoughts of renewal, doors begin to open in ways you never expected. You sense a growing power within you, an authority over your own destiny. You no longer see yourself as a victim of the past, but as a co-creator of your future. The words you silently affirm to yourself start to align with the promises of restoration. This transformation is subtle but profound. You may wake up one day and realize that the voice of doubt has grown weaker, while the voice of faith has grown stronger. The circumstances around you may not yet reflect this change, but something within you knows that things are already shifting. You no longer entertain thoughts of limitation. Instead, you begin to imagine possibilities where once you saw obstacles. This is the power of divine restoration. It begins in the unseen before it manifests in the seen. As your inner dialogue aligns with restoration, you begin to attract new opportunities, people, and circumstances that confirm what you already knew deep within. It is as if the universe is responding to your renewed belief in yourself. Your prayers are no longer filled with desperation, but with expectation. You feel a sense of partnership with the divine, knowing that what you continually affirm within will soon become your external reality. This is the first and most vital sign that God is restoring your wasted years. Your mind has been renewed, and your future is already unfolding in a new direction. There comes a moment in life when something within you refuses to remain stuck. You may have spent years dwelling on past mistakes, missed opportunities, or painful experiences, but suddenly you sense a deep urge to move forward. This desire is not forced, it is a stirring in your soul, an inner knowing that your story is not over. It is a sign that God is about to restore your wasted years. When restoration is near, the past loses its grip, and a new vision begins to emerge within you. This shift does not always happen dramatically. At first, it may feel like a small whisper, a quiet but persistent feeling that says, "There is more for you." You may wake up one morning and feel tired of living in regret. You may find yourself longing for something greater, something that aligns with the dreams you once had but thought were lost. This longing is not from you alone. It is divine. It is the Creator's way of calling you out of stagnation and into a season of renewal. As this unshakable desire grows, you begin to take action, even in small ways. Perhaps you start reading books that inspire you, reaching out to people who uplift you, or considering possibilities you once dismissed. What once seemed impossible now feels within reach. You may not know all the steps ahead, but the mere fact that you are willing to move forward is proof that your wasted years are being redeemed. When God restores, He first gives you the hunger for more life, more purpose, more joy. This desire to move forward also comes with a new level of intolerance for negativity. You no longer have patience for conversations, habits, or environments that drain you. You become protective of your energy, choosing instead to focus on growth and renewal. This is because restoration requires a new mindset. When you truly believe that better days are ahead, you no longer cling to the weight of yesterday. You recognize that holding on to the past only delays the blessings that are waiting for you. Most importantly, this desire to move forward is accompanied by an unexplainable confidence. You may not see the full picture yet, but deep down you know that everything is aligning for your good. You trust that God is working behind the scenes, preparing the right opportunities, the right people, and the right timing. You are no longer controlled by fear, for you understand that what is ahead is far greater than what is behind. This desire to move forward is a divine sign. It is the evidence that your wasted years are about to be restored. When God is about to restore your wasted years, one of the clearest signs is the sudden opening of doors that were once firmly shut. These are opportunities that you may have tried to access in the past, but were met with rejection, delays, or impossibilities. Perhaps you knocked on certain doors, jobs, relationships, financial breakthroughs, or personal dreams, only to find them locked. But now, without struggle or force, these doors begin to open, often in ways you never expected. This is not luck or coincidence, it is divine timing. You will notice that what once required great effort now happens with ease. Maybe you applied for a position years ago and were overlooked, but now you receive a call for an even better opportunity. Maybe you once felt invisible in your field, but suddenly the right people start noticing your gifts. These moments of divine alignment are signs that God has been working behind the scenes, preparing the right conditions for your restoration. What was once denied is now being released to you. This shift is a reminder that God's delays are not His denials. Sometimes doors were closed in the past because you were not yet ready, or because something better was being prepared. In hindsight, you will realize that if you had received certain opportunities back then, you might not have been able to sustain them. But now, after seasons of growth, healing, and preparation, you are stepping into the right place at the right time. The years you thought were wasted were actually seasons of refinement, making you stronger for what is now coming. As these doors open, you must be ready to walk through them with faith. Fear and doubt may try to creep in, whispering, "What if this is too good to be true?" But restoration requires courage. The same God who opens the door will equip you to step into it. You are no longer the person who once faced rejection. You are wiser, more resilient, and more prepared to handle the blessings coming your way. What was once inaccessible is now yours to claim. Above all, the opening of closed doors is a sign that restoration is not just about receiving back what was lost. It is about receiving something greater. You will not merely return to where you once were. You will be elevated beyond what you imagined. The doors that are opening now are not just about reclaiming lost years, but about stepping into a future that exceeds anything you thought possible. This is the moment when you realize that nothing was truly lost, only postponed for a greater purpose. One of the most powerful signs that God is about to restore your wasted years is the unshakable peace that settles within you. Even when circumstances around you seem unchanged or even chaotic. This peace is not something you force, it simply arrives, like a quiet assurance deep in your soul. It is as if an unseen hand has lifted the weight of worry, and you suddenly know, beyond logic or reason, that everything is working out in your favor. This peace is divine. It is the evidence that restoration has already begun. This kind of peace does not come from external conditions. In fact, you may still be facing difficulties. Bills may still be due, relationships may still be in tension, and doors may not yet be fully opened. But despite all this, you feel different. The fear that once gripped you is no longer in control. The anxiety that used to consume your thoughts has loosened its hold. Instead of dwelling on what was lost, you feel a quiet confidence rising within you, as if something unseen is guiding you toward a new season. This sudden peace is a sign that your spirit has aligned with God's timing. In the past, you may have fought battles in your own strength, trying to force things to happen. But now you have surrendered, and in that surrender you find rest. This does not mean you have given up, it means you have let go of the struggle. You now trust that the same God who created time itself can redeem and restore your lost years. Your heart no longer races with worry. Instead, it beats with expectancy. As these doors open, you must be ready to walk through them with faith. Fear and doubt may try to creep in, whispering, "What if this is too good to be true?" But restoration requires courage. The same God who opens the door will equip you to step into it. You are no longer the person who once faced rejection. You are wiser, more resilient, and more prepared to handle the blessings coming your way. What was once inaccessible is now yours to claim. Above all, the opening of closed doors is a sign that restoration is not just about receiving back what was lost. It is about receiving something greater. You will not merely return to where you once were, you will be elevated beyond what you imagined. The doors that are opening now are not just about reclaiming lost years, but about stepping into a future that exceeds anything you thought possible. This is the moment when you realize that nothing was truly lost, only postponed for a greater purpose. One of the most powerful signs that God is about to restore your wasted years is the unshakable peace that settles within you, even when circumstances around you seem unchanged or even chaotic. This peace is not something you force. It simply arrives, like a quiet assurance deep in your soul. It is as if an unseen hand has lifted the weight of worry, and you suddenly know, beyond logic or reason, that everything is working out in your favor. This peace is divine. It is the evidence that restoration has already begun. This kind of peace does not come from external conditions. In fact, you may still be facing difficulties. Bills may still be due, relationships may still be in tension, and doors may not yet be fully open. But despite all this, you feel different. The fear that once gripped you is no longer in control. The anxiety that used to consume your thoughts has loosened its hold. Instead of dwelling on what was lost, you feel a quiet confidence rising within you, as if something unseen is guiding you toward a new season. This sudden peace is a sign that your spirit has aligned with God's timing. In the past, you may have fought battles in your own strength, trying to force things to happen. But now you have surrendered, and in that surrender you find rest. This does not mean you have given up. It means you have let go of the struggle. You now trust that the same God who created time itself can redeem and restore your lost years. Your heart no longer races with worry. Instead, it beats with expectancy. You may also notice that this peace begins to affect other areas of your life. Where you once reacted with frustration or fear, you now respond with patience and wisdom. People around you may not understand how you remain so calm in the face of uncertainty, but you know why. This is not ordinary peace. It is a supernatural stillness that comes when you know restoration is near. It is the kind of peace that allows you to smile even when the evidence of change is not yet visible. Most importantly, this peace prepares you for the blessings ahead. When God restores, He does not just give back what was lost, He multiplies it. And He needs you to be in a position of trust, not panic. This peace is His way of letting you know that the battle has already been won. It is a sign that you are stepping into a new season, one where wasted years are not just returned, but redeemed for something greater. When God is about to restore your wasted years, one of the clearest signs is the sudden appearance of the right people in your life. These individuals are not just ordinary acquaintances. They are destiny connectors, people who carry wisdom, opportunities, and encouragement that align with your restoration. They may come unexpectedly, but their presence will feel purposeful. Their words will ignite something within you, and their support will remind you that you are not walking this path alone. You will notice that as these new people enter your life, some old relationships begin to fade. This is not a coincidence. God often removes those who were holding you back before introducing those who will propel you forward. The relationships that once drained you emotionally, spiritually, or mentally may naturally dissolve, making room for divine connections. Do not resist this process. It is part of your restoration. You cannot receive new blessings while clinging to what was never meant to last. The people God sends during your season of restoration will often bring confirmation. They will say things that align with the dreams and desires you have secretly held in your heart. They will encourage you to step out in faith, reminding you of your potential when you forget it yourself. They may open doors you could never have accessed on your own. Sometimes they will challenge you to rise higher, pushing you out of your comfort zone. Their presence is a divine sign that your wasted years are about to be redeemed. These divine connections also come with a new level of discernment. After experiencing setbacks, you have gained wisdom in recognizing who truly belongs in your life. You are no longer desperate for approval or afraid of letting go. You understand that the people meant for you will uplift, inspire, and support your journey. You no longer settle for surface-level relationships. Instead, you seek deep, meaningful connections that align with your purpose. Most importantly, the entrance of the right people signals a shift in your destiny. Restoration is never a solo journey. God sends help along the way. Pay attention to the new friendships, mentors, or partners that enter your life during this season. They are not here by accident. They are a sign that you are walking into a future greater than your past, and they are part of the divine strategy to ensure that what was lost is restored in abundance. One of the most powerful signs that God is about to restore your wasted years is the sudden awakening of your imagination. Where you once saw limitations, you now see opportunities. Where you once replayed memories of failure and regret, you now begin to envision a future filled with hope, abundance, and purpose. This shift is not just positive thinking, it is divine revelation. It is the Spirit within you, stirring your mind to conceive a reality far greater than what you have experienced before. At first, this change may feel subtle. You might catch yourself daydreaming about a better life, picturing yourself walking in success, joy, and restoration. You may begin to visualize doors opening, relationships healing, and dreams unfolding. These thoughts are not random. They are glimpses of what is to come. Your imagination is being revived because God is preparing to do something new. What you see in your mind's eye today is a preview of the restoration that is already in motion. The power of imagination is often overlooked, but it is one of the most critical forces in bringing about transformation. Scripture tells us that as a person thinks in their heart, so are they. If your imagination is filled with visions of loss and failure, you will continue to live in that reality. But when God is restoring your wasted years, He first renews your mind. He plants new images of victory, abundance, and possibilities within you, causing you to expect more from life. As your imagination expands, so does your faith. You begin to realize that nothing is truly lost and that time itself is in God's hands. The years that seemed wasted can be redeemed in ways beyond your understanding. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of the past and start seeing yourself as the architect of your future. Your thoughts align with restoration, and in doing so, you begin to attract opportunities that match this new vision. This is not fantasy, it is faith in action. Every great transformation begins in the imagination before it manifests in reality. When your mind comes alive with new possibilities, it is a clear sign that you are on the verge of something extraordinary. The same mind that once trapped you in regret is now guiding you toward restoration. Keep feeding this vision. Keep believing in the unseen. What you imagine today will become the reality you walk into tomorrow. One of the clearest signs that God is about to restore your wasted years is when the past no longer has a hold on you. The pain, the regrets, the missed opportunities, things that once haunted your thoughts begin to lose their grip. You no longer replay old mistakes in your mind, and you stop defining yourself by what went wrong. Instead, you feel a sense of release, as if an invisible weight has been lifted. This is not because the past has changed, but because you have. You are no longer tied to it. This shift does not always happen overnight. At first, you may notice that painful memories no longer trigger the same emotional reaction they once did. What used to make you feel shame or disappointment now feels distant, as if it belongs to someone else's story. This is the work of divine healing. God is rewriting your narrative, showing you that your past does not determine your future. You begin to realize that those experiences, no matter how painful, were not wasted. They were preparing you for something greater. As the past loses its power, your mindset shifts from regret to gratitude. You stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and start asking, "What did this teach me?" You see the wisdom gained, the strength developed, and the person you have become because of it. You understand that without those experiences, you would not have the depth, resilience, or faith that you now carry. What once felt like wasted years now feels like preparation for the restoration that is unfolding. This newfound freedom also allows you to embrace the present fully. You stop living in the shadows of what could have been and start stepping boldly into what is. You no longer compare your timeline to others or feel behind in life. Instead, you trust that your journey is unfolding exactly as it should. You understand that restoration does not mean going back. It means moving forward into something better. The past was just the foundation for the new life that is being built. Most importantly, when the past loses its power, you gain clarity about your future. You no longer make decisions based on fear or past disappointments. You no longer settle for less because of what you once lost. You step into a new level of confidence, knowing that nothing was truly wasted. Every tear, every delay, every struggle was leading you to this moment. Now you are ready to receive the restoration that has been waiting for you all along. As you stand on the edge of this new season, know that your wasted years were never truly wasted. Every setback, every delay, and every closed door was simply part of the divine process, preparing you, refining you, and aligning you for something greater. Now the signs are clear. Restoration is unfolding in your life. Your inner conversations have shifted. Your desire to move forward is unstoppable, and doors that were once shut are now opening. The right people are entering your life. Your imagination is coming alive with possibilities, and peace surrounds you despite the chaos. Most importantly, the past no longer holds you captive. This is your moment to step into the fullness of what has been prepared for you. Do not allow doubt to steal this season of restoration. Walk boldly, expectantly, and with the unwavering belief that nothing was lost, only repositioned for a greater purpose. The years the enemy tried to steal are being returned, multiplied and transformed into something far more beautiful than you could have imagined. Your restoration is not coming, it has already begun. Now step forward and embrace it.